Dinner for shoes, please.
Hello, and welcome to an episode of Dinner for Shoes, all about my trip to Las Vegas racing style. I had such a good time in Vegas at the F1 Grand Prix. I was there on a press trip, but I've already done an episode about a Grand Prix, about Miami specifically. Nick and my best friend Isabel, they got me into F1, and I watched Drive to Survive, just like so many people who are now into F1, and fell in love with it as a sport. And I've gone to 3 Grand Prix so far and counting, hopefully. And Vegas was just awesome. It was the first time the women raced in Vegas, which was really cool. I wrote a whole article about the women in F1 Academy for Pop Sugar. It was so exciting. I haven't been to Vegas in a very long time. And these were the perfect boots to go in. I actually, if you watched on Instagram or on TikTok, I posted a little reel about packing these boots and how they really went with every single one of my Vegas outfits, and the crinkled leather Zara boots, just so cool. Let's talk about the outfit behind the shoes, because it kind of goes hand in hand with my love of F1 and all the things I did in Vegas. And then we'll get into it. And I think the reason why I decided to do another episode on a Grand Prix, or really just Vegas style in general, and what the Grand Prix brought to Vegas from a style perspective, is because my experience in Vegas was all about style and food. And part of that is because of the incredible company that organized the press trip I was on, but we're going to get there in a second. Let's start with the outfit behind the shoes. So these, are Zara. I personally think Zara makes very comfortable shoes. So when I need a cool, trendy shoe for a moment like the F1 Grand Prix, and especially specifically in Vegas, I'm going there. These were very comfortable, a little stiletto boot. Obviously didn't wear them to the track just because it's a very long day. We're going to get into some of the shoes that I did wear for my longer days, but I really love these. And I personally love the way a boot and tight jeans look with a big hoodie. And so that's kind of the inspiration for my outfit today. I'm wearing tighter Zara jeans. I'm wearing my new F1 Grand Prix hoodie, which we will get into a little bit more. I'm gonna take off my blazer. This blazer is also from Zara. I love, if you type in hoodie outfits into Pinterest, you see so many girls who pull off a hoodie and a blazer. And I think it looks really cool. It's sophisticated and I'm so into it. My favorite Prada bag, I am obsessed with this Prada bag. I just feel like it screams Grand Prix in Vegas. Fun colors, of course, matches with the shoes. And I'm wearing my checkered rings, which of course remind me of just the F1, the racing car flag. My engagement ring, just plain gold hoops, because I feel like that's an easy combination when you're wearing a blazer and hoodie. And I'm going to take off this blazer so that you can really see just how cool this sweatshirt is. And I feel like part of F1, Formula One style in general, is kind of just building up your collection of racing gear, racing outfits, depending on which Grand Prix you've been to. And so I've had a lot of fun doing that. And I actually wore one of the pieces that I got in Miami when I was in Vegas, and the t-shirt that I got in Monaco when I was in Vegas. So what's cool is taking those pieces and integrating them into your Grand Prix outfits for the next time, and just building that up. I actually got this sweatshirt in both white and black. I got it in white when I first went shopping, and then I got it in black the night of the Grand Prix because it was so fucking cold and I didn't have enough layers. And I was like, I like this sweatshirt enough to get in white and black. It's just really cool. So that is the outfit behind the shoes. Cute girl. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how I got to go to the Vegas Grand Prix. So I was invited on a press trip that was organized by KDC and R&R Partners, and it was an incredible press trip. They literally took us to everything that was going on in Vegas surrounding the Grand Prix. And I can't even tell you how amazing and jam-packed our itinerary was. On top of that, Nick had tickets to the Grand Prix. Lego hooked us up with tickets. We're going to get into the really cool activation that Lego had going on there. T-Mobile set us up one night for Quali. I like to say Quali. And so, yeah, like, it was just all around really well orchestrated. I felt like There were no hiccups, which is crazy. There's usually always hiccups for the weekend. And yeah, let's like dive in and talk about it. So basically, I'm going to go through like everything I did and start at like the top of the itinerary and talk about the amazing food I ate and all of the cool outfits that I ate the food in throughout. So the first outfit was my night one outfit. And like, that was Wednesday night. I got there Wednesday night and I felt like I needed to show up to dinner like a little bit sophisticated. So I wore my Hellacy top with just like a pair of slacks. And I tried to keep it. I literally wore my favorite Miu Miu bag because it's just like a race car inspired bag every single day. And I felt like that was so perfect. It's kind of the same way the shoes just like were my shoes of the weekend. I love it when you can pack like that. And so I wore that bag just to kind of like add in a pop of color. And the first thing I did was I got to go to the Lego event and I got to be like at the Grand Prix in the paddock where the Lego event was before anyone else was there on Wednesday night. So it kind of like got me really amped up and excited. I got to see what the paddock looks like, which is always really cool. Lego was celebrating a partnership with F1 Academy. They're launching a team on the grid, which is neat. So they hooked us up with like seats that had an incredible view of the start of the race. And that was just really cool. Like if there was going to be anywhere on the strip circuit where I could have asked to be seated, it would have been there. Sorry, microphone. And so I was excited for that. Then I met up with like my press tour, my press trip group. And we had such a good night the first night. We went to Pisces. This is in the Wynn Hotel. The Wynn is so nice. We were kind of talking as a group about how like, it just feels like there's that extra special touch at the Wynn. And I ended up going back to the Wynn another time. And it just really is a really stylish hotel. Like everywhere you look, it just feels beautiful. Right now, this time of year, there are like Christmas trees all in the lobby. So it's really, really cool. At Pisces, we had this amazing truffle pasta that I still can taste in my mouth. It was so good. We got to see Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, which was like probably one of the best takeaways of the entire trip. Like that is worth it. It was so awesome. And it reminded me how much like I love the Wizard of Oz. So that was like a really good first night and like entryway into Vegas for the weekend, because obviously the Sphere is like a huge part of the Grand Prix and it is really so cool to look at. On day two, I brought in the Miami jacket, the members only jacket that I had customized in Miami. And I wore the same trousers and a pair of sneakers that day, but specifically my New Balance sneakers, because I knew how much walking around there was going to be that day. And I was just like, I cannot do it in those heels. We went on a tour of the track, like the entire strip. That was incredible. We went shopping at the F1 hub in the Venetian. And this was insane because, as you guys know, I am a Disney lover. And Disney has just released a collection with F1 and we got to shop it. We also got to meet Bobby Hundreds, who is newly appointed at Disney. He's the creative and vice president of Disney Consumer Products. He was there. He chatted with us before we shopped. And then we got like a little voucher to purchase something. It was this. I was so excited to do that. I got Nick a hat. And with the Disney team and like kind of like a little press trip that Disney had going on with some influencers, we got to eat at Jelena, which was brunch and so good. The pizza was phenomenal. Everything was great. The fries were great. That was so delicious. And it really fueled us because then we got a tour of the Paddock Club. We ate in the paddock. There was a Stubborn Seed activation. The chef behind the restaurant Stubborn Seed is Jeremy Ford, and he was like serving us. And that was cool. We got to go into the Williams garage, and myself and one of the other girls on the press trip are major Carlos Sainz fans. So like it was really cool to see his space, check out the Williams garage. And we didn't see him, but that's okay. I like to pretend that Nick looks like him. So I have my own Carlos Sainz. And on outfit, well, yeah, he does look like him. He's in the other room and listening to me now and getting mad for sure. He looks like him a little bit. I have a people smash to prove it. So just DM me and I'll send it to you. Okay, for day 3, I brought in my Monaco t-shirt, and this is like a crop t-shirt. And so I wore this same Zara blazer just to give it a little bit more of a sophisticated touch here. This day, I did wear my red Zara boots. We went to Caesars. We saw Caspian's, which was a really cool like speakeasy. It is a really cool speakeasy type like back room where they throw events. They have live music in Caesars. And we learned all about the renovations coming to Caesars, which it's really, really impressive. They're behind the new Vanderpump Hotel that is coming. So we learned all about that. And Lisa Vanderpump's like presence in Vegas, budding presence in Vegas. And there was this really cool mermaid lamp, which I just love a mermaid lamp, like love anything where I'm like, I need that. And that was at Caspian's. There was kind of like an under the sea vibe going on there. So like I said, everywhere we went just had this like incredible stylish touch that I really appreciated. And then the coolest, people are still like on my TikTok about this because I of course posted a TikTok, but we ate with Gordon Ramsay himself at Hell's Kitchen. This was I think the first Hell's Kitchen location ever. So Gordon Ramsay was there. He's a big fan of F1. If you follow F1, you know that he's like always at the track. He's always at the circuit. And so he hosts this like trackside lunch. And he came out, he served his beef Wellington to us. He chatted with us at our table. He was a lovely man, like really, really enjoyed that. And then that night we cozied up for quali in the T-Mobile zone, which T-Mobile has a partnership with the F1 Grand Prix. It was so cool. They have an activation, which is kind of like a club. It's exclusive, but it gives you an amazing view of the stage. We watched MGK perform, which was really cool, and enjoyed quali. So that was wonderful. And then the final day was like my favorite day because Peloton partnered with F1. And if you know a little bit about me and my family, my sister works for Peloton. I am such a Peloton devotee. Always have been, always will be. And I got to go to take Alex Toussaint's Hidden Hills, which I didn't know was a Hidden Hills ride, 30-minute class. My friend Sheila from Peloton gave me this like really cool jade set that I was so into. And so I felt like I was all Pelotoned out walking in. The ride was actually at the Wynn Theater. It's called The Awakening. And like the way they set it up and transformed it into a Peloton studio was incredible. All the instructors kind of said that like there was more energy and excitement than of course when they're teaching like in the studio. Even the way like the instructor was just in the center of the room and all the people taking the class were around the instructor. It was so high energy and so much fun. And like getting to meet Alex Toussaint, and I got to meet Emma Lovewell and interview her for a Pop Sugar reel. And that was just kind of like a dream come true. The more Peloton instructors I meet, the more I love the company because I'm like, wow, these people are just as genuine as they seem when they're teaching their classes and as they seem on social media. So I just love the Peloton F1 partnership. I think it's smart. I think it's really, really cool. They also all did like hot laps with some of the drivers. So you can like check all that stuff out on social media. So yeah. Then I went home and then I changed it to my race day outfit, which was obviously my favorite. I had these Zara separates that I called in that were kind of studded and they have that flash that just screams Vegas. So I think that's the difference, the major difference for me between like getting dressed for the F1 Grand Prix in Miami versus Monaco versus Vegas. Like Monaco, like you're in the south of France and I wanted to wear a little black dress and be super chic. And like I had my engagement ring and it was new. And I was at a totally different level. And then Miami was kind of like, it was hot. It was like summer weather. And I was just kind of like sporty, but also a little chic and tailored. And then Vegas is more like edgy and a little sexy and kind of like pushing the envelope a little bit. So when I saw those denim separates, I was like, those would look so good. I wanted to wear my heeled Zara boots that I'm wearing today, but I chose not to last second and had Nick bring me a pair of my platform leather boots from home because like walking around was a lot there. And we had to walk all the way to the Heineken zone where our seats were, where Lego hooked us up a seat. So it was just, yeah, it was really cool. And I felt really awesome in that outfit. It was comfortable too. So I felt really good all day that day. Before we even went to the track, we got to explore the Bellagio again. Like KDC and R&R Partners hooked up this incredible trip. And like, this was definitely my favorite day. We had cocktails at the vault. As you guys know from like 2 episodes ago. I haven't been drinking as much. And they gave us like shots and a drink. And I was like, everyone on the press trip was like wasted because like we all weren't like big drinkers. But we got to the point whenever there's a press trip, you're kind of like a little bit like shy with everyone who's on the trip at first, but then by like day 3, you're all obsessed with each other. And me and all the girls on the press trip were like obsessed with each other at that point. So we were like drinking, like wasted, having a ton of fun. And it was just like, not wasted, but like to me now having a shot of like a sugary thing like would get me drunk. So it was just really fun. And we also went to Carbone Riviera, which newly has opened. And I've been to Carbone before. I actually went when I was in Miami with my best friend Isabel, and we ate at Carbone in Miami. We ate the spicy rigatoni, which is very famous, and they served it to us at Carbone Riviera. And they have a new little patio that they just built out with the opening of Carbone Riviera in front of the Bellagio fountains. And just being there, eating like delicious, lavish cheese dishes and the spicy vodka rigatoni was like so nice and lovely. And I didn't even want to get up and go to the track, but like the excitement awaited. And I obviously wanted to see Nick, so that was good. So I felt like all sauced up and ready for the race after that. And yeah, that was pretty much it. We went to the race. We had a great time. Nick definitely probably would have preferred to gamble a little bit more, but I was like, you are crazy, because we recently went to Atlantic City for his birthday. Almost like a month ago now, I guess. And we actually won in Atlantic City, which never happens. Like, it is very rare that you win when you are gambling. So I said to Nick, like, there is no way that we are going to win if we gamble here, if we just won last time we gambled. Like, no way. Sure enough, I was right about that, but I'm glad that we didn't like keep pushing our luck. And when we got back, both after quali and after the actual race itself, but we did Verstappen win? Verstappen won the race, which was cool to see, because he's just like, he continues to just like be on top and clearly wants to keep his reign as champion. And yeah, he is a very impressive driver. And so it was a really good race, and we could have continued our night and like gambled, but instead, and now I'm going to bring in the food that I'm eating because it's super important. So both nights, actually, let me get the food and then I'm going to talk to you about it, because this is, yeah. What a shocker. You guys sprinted over faster than a race car driver, didn't you? All right. So, as I am laying out the food from Daily Provisions in Jersey City, I am going to talk a little bit about, well, first of all, this new plate that I got. A PR friend of mine, Fallon, had it sent to me from one of her brands. It says Dinner for Shoes. How cute is that? We have these little like coaster/plates. You can really use them for anything you want, but they're by a brand called Lav, L-A-V, and really, really unique and awesome. I kind of want to put like some of my crispy potatoes, which is what I'm eating. Surprise, surprise. Oh, those look good, but they don't. All right, let's actually do this. Dinner for Shoes. Let's put a few on here. Oh, yum. Okay. Lately, she's been just like ravenous for anything that we are eating. So instead of gambling on Friday night and Saturday night, Nick and I, both nights, went to Wolfgang Puck in the center of MGM, and we got their potatoes, their roasted potatoes. And the first night we went there, night 1, we were like, what's better, the potatoes or the fries? And the waiter, who was this really good waiter, was like, oh, like 100% the potatoes, get the potatoes. These potatoes were the best potatoes I've ever had in my life. I have a picture of them on night 1 and a picture of them on night 2. Okay, I was blown away. So obviously it's my goal to recreate those potatoes at some point, but I need to now start sampling roasted potatoes like that have that crispy crunch. They like popped in your mouth. It was kind of incredible. They were garlic. These are probably pretty similar. They're Parmesan garlic from Daily Provisions. And so let's see. They don't seem to have the same element of crisp. They are good. Because like all potatoes are good. You know, like you never could have a bad potato. So these are great, but they're not as good as the Wolfgang Puck ones. I almost called this episode like, what was I going to call it? I was going to call it like Las Vegas, Grand Prix, and my new favorite potatoes. Because like, I feel like I defined the Grand Prix as like being able to enjoy those potatoes with Nick every night after the race, like that was just, I'm sure no one else goes to MGM Grand and is like, remembers it for the potatoes at Wolfgang Puck, but like got one person now. These are very good. I am such a potato person. Like, love it. Wow. Those are delicious. Okay. That was my Vegas experience. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I hope that you also learned a little bit about Vegas and all the cool shit you can do there, even if you're not going to a Grand Prix, because really that is kind of what I realized. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Dinner for Shoes. I'm in a food coma now because these are just like really good. I'll be here eating my potatoes. Love you. Bye.